Have you ever gone through a period like this? You clearly know you have many things to do: work, study, exercise, socializing. It's not that you have no goals, and it's not that you have no ideas at all. But you just can't move. You lie in bed, scrolling on your phone for hours. Deep down, you feel uneasy, but your body feels like it's been pressed on pause. You tell yourself, just 5 more minutes, then I'll get up. But 5 minutes later, you're still there. Then you start blaming yourself. What's wrong with me? Everyone else is working hard. What am I doing? If I keep going like this, my life is over. The more you think, the more anxious you become, and the more anxious you are, the harder it is to act. If this feels familiar, what I'm about to say might help you understand yourself in a new way. Because your problem right now might not be laziness. It might be that your ability to act has been systematically weakened. Let's start with a fact many people overlook. Most so-called lack of motivation is not an ability problem, but a self-protection mechanism of the psychological system. In other words, it's not that you can't do it, it's that your brain is stopping you from doing it. That sounds counterintuitive, right? But if you trace things back to your childhood, you may start to see the clues. Imagine growing up in an environment like this. Money is always talked about as being insufficient. Your parents are constantly anxious about survival. You get criticized or shut down for even small mistakes. You are rarely praised, rarely affirmed. Even when you try hard, you may not be seen. And sometimes, the better you perform, the higher the expectations become. Over time, you begin to form a subconscious belief: effort does not lead to good outcomes. This belief is not something you consciously chose. It is something you gradually learned from your environment. When a person repeatedly experiences situations where effort seems ineffective, the brain automatically reduces the willingness to act. Not because they don't want to change, but because they have learned that change is meaningless. So when you grow up and face opportunities or tasks, your first reaction is not "let me try," but "forget it, it's useless." Now, from a neuroscience perspective, this becomes even clearer. If someone grows up in a long-term environment of stress, scarcity, and tension, the brain prioritizes the development of the survival system. Meanwhile, the prefrontal cortex responsible for planning, execution, and rational thinking gets suppressed. Simply put, your brain becomes better at surviving, not thriving. At the same time, the brain's reward system is affected. Under normal conditions, when we complete a task, the brain releases dopamine, creating a sense of pleasure and reinforcing the behavior. But in a prolonged stressful environment, the system gradually becomes less sensitive. So a certain state appears. You know what things are good for you, but when you do them, you feel almost no joy. Studying brings no sense of achievement. Work brings no satisfaction. Socializing brings no sense of connection. Even progress itself feels dull. When effort no longer produces reward, motivation naturally collapses. So your current state may not be that you don't want to act. It may be that your system is saying, don't move. It's safer this way. This is also why many people show a seemingly contradictory pattern. They are not completely without energy. They can scroll on their phones for hours. They can watch shows, play games, eat, but the moment it comes to serious tasks, they freeze. That's because the brain is distinguishing between two types of behavior: low-cost, low-risk activities like scrolling on your phone, and high-uncertainty, high-pressure activities like work or study. The former feels safe, the latter carries the risk of failure. And for someone who has experienced long-term invalidation, failure is not just a bad outcome. It means shame, rejection, and self-attack. So the brain automatically avoids it. So why does lying flat become a choice for so many people? Because psychologically, it functions as an energy-saving mode. When the external environment feels unsafe and the internal system lacks support, the most rational strategy is to reduce consumption. If you don't act, you won't fail. If you don't try, you won't get hurt. If you don't invest, you won't be disappointed. This is not degeneration. This is protection. The problem is never that you're resting. The problem is that you rest while attacking yourself. For many people, the real pain is not that they did nothing. It's the inner conflict. One part of you says, I need rest. Another part says, you're so useless. So you neither truly rest nor truly act. This is internal friction. And long-term internal friction drains more energy than simply doing nothing. So what can we do? If you're expecting a method to instantly become disciplined, I might disappoint you. Because restoring motivation is not about forcing yourself, it's about rebuilding the system. We can start from 3 directions. First, stop attacking yourself. You need to understand one thing: your current state has reasons. It's not that you are lazy, but that you learned a survival strategy in an environment that didn't support you. When you stop defining yourself as useless, you create the possibility for change. When you feel low, try telling yourself, "I'm not incapable. I'm just tired." If your system has been in a low energy state for a long time, going from 0 to 100 is unrealistic. You need to go from 0 to 1. Not, "I will study for 3 hours," but "I will open the book and read 1 page." Not, "I will work out for an hour, but I will do 5 push-ups." Not, "I will completely change my life, but I will do 1 small thing today." These small actions can slowly reactivate your reward system. They help you experience again, "I did something gives I feel a bit of achievement." This is the starting point of rebuilding motivation. Third, create a safe space for trying. Many people don't act because they treat every attempt as something that must succeed, but a healthy system allows for trial and error. You can tell yourself, "This is not a test. This is practice." When you let go of the need for perfect outcomes, it becomes easier to start. Finally, I want to say this to you: if you're going through a phase where you don't want to do anything, nothing excites you, and yet you feel deeply disappointed in yourself, please remember, you are not broken. You have simply not been treated well for a long time. Your system is not trying to destroy you. It is trying in the only way it knows, to protect you. What you need to do now is not to defeat it, but to slowly understand it, soothe it, and gently bring yourself back. It may be slow. It may come with setbacks. But the moment you stop attacking yourself, the moment you take even the smallest step, you are already recovering. So if you still want to lie down today, then lie down well. If you want to eat something, then eat it mindfully. Don't rest while punishing yourself, because real change never begins with force. It begins with a moment of gentle understanding. I am like this for a reason.